The far-left Democrat Jamaal Bowman loses primary after becoming a full-scale anti-Semite. So, remember last weekend, Jamal Brown had this Rumble at the Bronx. He was at the Rumble at the Bronx, where Bernie Sanders, who flies on private jets and claims that he's a socialist and thinks that nobody should make less than $15 an hour, while also paying his employees less than $15 an hour. Just terrible. And then AOC, who's basically a child. She's the Taylor Swift of the Democratic Party. They're all there. And, and Jamal Bowman, when he was there, was rapping to a song about blacks killing each other. So that's usually a good look for the Democratic Party, is when you have representatives rapping to songs about blacks killing blacks while it's going on in your own cities. So the far-left Representative Jamal Bowman lost the primary race against the moderate Westchester County Executive George Latimer on Tuesday after the party pushed to oust him following his move to become a radical anti-Semite. With just over half of the votes counted, the Associated Press called the race for Latimer, saying that he was up 55 to 45%, which is a big gap. That's a pretty big gap. Bowman, who was charged late last year with pulling a fire alarm in Congress, became the first member of the Squad, a far-left lawmaker, a group of far-left lawmakers that include Representative AOC and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, Cori Bush, and more, to be voted out of Congress. So that's already a good sign. He was voted out of Congress. Congress, the Democratic part, like the Senate is mostly Republican, but the Congress is mostly Democrat. And Bowman got voted out. So that's already a bad sign. Backlash against Bowman was so intense that the primary race became the most expensive House primary in U.S. history, with approximately $25 million spent in advertising, according to the Wall Street Journal. Bowman denied many of his atrocities that took place during the October 7th massacre, falsely claiming reports of mass rape and babies being beheaded was Israeli propaganda, which it's not. That's a real thing that was actually documented, but just doesn't care. He also refused to condemn Hamas terrorist attacks because he disagreed with calling the attack unprovoked. Okay? When you attack, see, because here's the thing. According to Bowman, when you attack a Jewish nation on a Jewish holiday and kill a bunch of civilians, kidnap and hold hostages, and murder and rape a bunch of babies and women, that's completely justified. That's completely justified because Jews, according to Bowman, because they are Jews, it's okay to murder them. And it's ironic because at the speech, at the Rumble in the Bronx, there's a ton of Palestinian protesters disagreeing with Bowman, protesting what he was saying, which is even funnier to me. So the Daily Wire editor, Ben Shapiro, explained on Twitter to show this week Bowman's embrace of anti-Semitism, saying that he had become a full-scale anti-Semite. And there's a clip of Ben Shapiro. We're not going to watch it live on the show, but it's on Twitter. But yeah, Bowman not surprisingly, lost the election because he's completely stupid. Okay, when you have a track record as bad as Bowman, and when you do things as stupid and as bad as Bowman, the American people are typically not going to vote for you. When you're rapping about shooting black people and saying that we need a ceasefire and saying that October 7th was completely justified because the attack was actually provoked for some reason, even though Palestine and Israel have been at peace for the last, 8 years? There's peace there for a long time, and now all of a sudden it is a provoked attack. And what's his reasoning for calling this a provoked attack? What's his he doesn't have a reasoning, because there's no way you could possibly justify this. Okay, the Hamas are a bunch of savages. Majority of the Palestinian people are savages, and they just attack people because they're just savage people. That's just how they are. They literally celebrated 9/11. When the Twin Towers got struck on September 11, 2001, they celebrated in the streets with like candy and parades and stuff like that. Okay, these are not good people. They're not. Okay, you can make the argument that like, oh, the civilians are fine though, but I would even disagree with that because I've seen photos and video footage of the civilians of Palestine helping Hamas bomb Israel. Hamas has been working in cahoots with the civilian population. I'm not saying all of them, but with majority of the civilian population. Majority of the civilians in Palestine actually support October 7th. They think October 7th was a good thing. Okay, Palestine is no different than Nazi Germany for the most. If you really think about it. Okay, like Nazi Germany back in World War II, you had a group of people who followed what the government was doing. The government wanted to do something. The people followed, even though it was a morally absent decision, a morally unjustifiable decision to make. And here we have people, Palestinian people, doing the same exact thing as the Nazis did in World War II. Okay? Now, the best option for the Palestinian-Israeli war is to vote for Trump, get him back in office, and then to have peace again. Because that's something that Trump did. That's what Trump had originally. He had peace in the Middle East. He had a bunch of peace accords. And he moved the Golan Heights back over. And he actually fulfilled biblical prophecy during his presidency, which is just absolutely crazy. That's the best option. But for now, to sit here and act like Palestine is somehow the victim when they started this war is just a little ridiculous. It's not even a little ridiculous. It's just a lot ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. I would argue it's outright stupid to act like Palestine are somehow being the victims here. Palestine is not the victim here. Because majority of them were going along with it. Okay, calling Palestinian people victims in this war would be like calling the Nazis victims in World War II. It's about as stupid, if not more stupid. But we're not gonna go there. What I find interesting about this whole conflict is this conflict has sparked up this new idea that Hitler was right. Many people on Twitter are like talking about how Hitler was right, the Holocaust never happened. There are Palestinian protesters wishing that Hitler was still alive today. So when you got that going for you, that's when you know that you're probably on the wrong side of history, when you're agreeing with the Nazis. And it's funny, for the last I don't know, decade, they've been calling the Republican Party a bunch of Nazis because we agree with common sense things. We make common sense claims. But now we have actual Nazis saying that Jews should be murdered on a large scale. And for some reason, when we call them Nazis, we're taking it too far. It's actually interesting that there's so many Holocaust denial now after this. I've never seen so much Holocaust denial since like before the starting of this war. I've never seen so many people denying the Holocaust. So I might actually buy some of the Holocaust denial books and read them. And I'm going to debunk them on a video. I think that'd be kind of neat. I had a series on my channel a while ago called Debunked. And, you know, I'm going to... Actually, I made a video recently on that, like a month ago. But I'm gonna read it. And I'm going to debunk the different claims made. Because it's honestly stupid. Thank you for watching all the way through the end. If you like this video and you want to see more like it, you can tune into my full show to watch all of my episodes early. And as always, God bless.